Hi everyone, I'm Ruth from Ruth Mary Jewellery, and I am not doing any discounts for Black Friday. Instead, I am giving free tips on cleaning your jewellery, repairing your jewellery, and also remodelling your jewellery into something completely new. So really just making the most of the jewellery that you've already got. So today I'm going to talk to you about repairs. I love getting repairs in, and when people show me them and they've taken them to maybe another jeweller who's told them can't be repaired or not really worth repairing, and I love getting those in because I am a little bit stubborn. I like a good challenge, so I can't obviously always do something about it, but I quite like having a look, and often then it can be done. And I think that's where, because I understand the sentimental aspect of jewellery, then it's really just a question of is it worth it to you being repaired? So for example, if you've got a ring that actually needs a lot of repair and you could potentially get a completely new one cheaper than the repair, but that ring belonged to your grandmother and you've got so many memories of her wearing it, of her having you up on her knee and you looking at all her rings on her finger, and to you that ring is priceless. Are you going to want another one even if it looks the same? Of course you're not, in which case obviously it's worth repairing to you. So a number of things that can happen with repairs. And I think that's why some people can be a little bit sort of worried about taking certain repairs in, as various things can go wrong. For example, little gemstones can fall out after the setting. And because the thing from a jeweller's point of view is you haven't set all of those stones. So you can't always guarantee all of them, but I'm very upfront about that. So rather than giving you a 3-page document of disclaimers of all the things that can go wrong just so that I can cover my backside, I will tell you specifically to your jewellery what may go wrong but hopefully won't. And in the case of, say, smaller diamonds, then I will guarantee them. So for example, if you lose a little diamond from a ring, or in the case of this particular one, if you can see that, one of the rubies had been lost, I won't just reset that ruby. I will look at all of the claws and all of the other settings to make sure that the other rubies don't fall out. And in a way, it makes no business sense, because I could just do the one knowing that the others will fall out, and in 6 months' time you'll be back. Wonderful for me. But actually I just care about customers, so what I'm going to do is check all of them, and then if within a certain time frame another stone does end up falling out, then I take responsibility for that and I will fix that for free. There are other times when I can't necessarily guarantee the stone, and things don't usually happen. I'm just giving a broad sense of what can happen, and then I'm upfront about it. So for example, here I have another ring which I recently resized. It's a lovely diamond ring, and this is a bigger stone. It's one that I haven't set. The resize is quite a simple one. It's just a case of stretching the band a little bit. So it's a ring given to me by a lady whose mum used to own it, and I think her mum must have worn it against her wedding band, because here you've actually got an area where the setting has been cut away, because a lot of engagement rings sort of, they look great, you buy them, you get engaged, and then it's like, oh, it doesn't really quite line up with a wedding band, which is often something that I will talk to customers about when I'm designing wedding engagement rings, is what will a wedding ring look like, and also what is your budget for that, because what I don't want to do is design a gorgeous wedding ring and then you're like, oh, I need a bespoke band. I hadn't budgeted for a bespoke band, I was just going to get a simple plain band, and then it's a bit of an unfortunate surprise, as an example. But still, nevertheless, gorgeous ring. But obviously the setting is one that I haven't played with, as it were, and it seems fairly secure to me, but just because I would have to charge a lot more if I were to then give 100% guarantee over that stone, then I'm having to put a disclaimer in place and say I can't guarantee the stone. Obviously I'll do my best, I'm not gonna sort of make sure it's wobbly, so anything like that, and most likely it'll be absolutely fine. But if anything does happen, then I can't replace that to you for free, or I just end up draining my business of money, or charging a heck of a lot more for repairs, and people aren't going to want that. They just want a little resize. They don't want sort of all these big jobs and that kind of thing. So that's one example. Here's an example of one that I recently repaired. So this is a lovely, I mean, look at it, another gorgeous ring, as are the others. And it's made of sort of slightly thinner metal, just so that you can get that gorgeous effect without it being quite such a pricey ring. So it's a little bit thinner, it's quite thin on the inside, and this customer sort of just got it caught, and it bent out of shape. So this is something that's sort of then been bent back into its gorgeous shape, and it's then been polished and rhodium plated. And this is an example where the metal would just be slightly weakened afterwards. So if it were to break in the future, then that is another example of something where I can't guarantee that it won't break. I can do my absolute best, and I've sort of said, so initially when I was looking at it, I thought, okay, if there are particular weak points, what I'll do is I'll actually laser weld extra white gold on there, just to strengthen it from behind. You won't see it from the front. So I'm doing my absolute best, but it's just in terms of guaranteeing. There are certain things where I have to cover my pretty backside, unfortunately. And sometimes when I take jewellery in, then it's almost like, oh, I'm telling you all the things that could go wrong and all the things that maybe aren't right with your jewellery. And that it's not to say it's not beautiful, it's not to say it's not sentimental, it's not to say it's not special. It's just looking at it from a technical point of view. And I think that's where sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating when people take something into a jeweller's, and often you get sort of the traditional goldsmiths, which are often men. It's more of a male-dominated industry. They've been in the industry for decades, got so much experience, incredibly skilled people, but they're used to being at the bench, so they're not necessarily then gonna have ways of sort of putting you at ease when you've got this really sentimental item. They're literally just looking at all the things that could go wrong and then saying, oh, I'm not sure I want to do it. And I can totally understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, I just want to make you guys happy, so which is why I quite like taking on repairs where someone says, oh no, can't be done, and that kind of thing. And I think this is, I mean, I've sort of put it in the category of repair. It's not really a repair, but here's a ring. It's a lovely Tanzanite ring. Tanzanites are stunning. Oh, it goes with my top quite nicely. I regularly have jewellery where I'm like, oh, I just want to keep it, but no, it's not mine. So this is one that a customer bought, not from me, and it had a gold, it was gold ring, well, still is gold, but she's more of a like silver, white gold, platinum, that kind of thing. And it's a dress ring. It's not designed for everyday wear. Tanzanites are never good for everyday wear unless you kind of sit there and don't do anything, because they do get scratched and chipped and that kind of thing. They're quite soft stone. But for occasional wear, Tanzanites are wonderful. They're really, really pretty. And because this particular customer, she doesn't really wear gold, she's more of a silver girl. And so I said, well, how about we rhodium plate it? It won't last forever, but if you're just wearing it occasionally, actually it's a nice option that won't cost you as much as having a complete redesign. So that's what we've done. I've actually rhodium plated it twice, just so there's a bit of a thicker layer on there. So that's that one here, which, oh my gosh, I think I need a Tanzanite ring or necklace or something to go with this outfit. This outfit is actually from a charity shop. I regularly have jewellery that is a heck of a lot more expensive than my clothes. And here's an example. Again, it kind of fits into the repair category, but not quite. They're two just single earrings, and someone came to me asking whether, because she'd lost the other one, whether I could make a new one to match. This particular one is a costume jewellery one. This one, I'm not really 100% sure whether it's silver. There's probably some silver in there. It's probably not sterling silver. And then it's got an amber in, which is probably sort of had some treatment and that kind of thing. So it's sort of an affordable amber, not a really, really high value amber. And anyway, I was asked whether I could make ones to match, and so I took them in, had a look, and basically came to the conclusion that I would have to charge so much it wasn't worth it for the customer. So I've just got these here ready to give back to her. And the reason for that, in the case of the amber one, finding an amber that matches exactly that, it would just take hours, and I have to charge for that. And then making the setting, I mean, that's quite a simple one with this particular one, but also because I'm not sure that that's actual sterling silver, then you've got different alloys that don't match. So I mean, something that you could do with this one is actually just snip off the earring post and make a little necklace out of it. That's something that could be done. You would never ever want to heat amber, so I'd be doing that with laser, and there would be a little bit of a risk to the amber, but if it's sitting in a jewelry box anyway, then it doesn't really matter. That's something I haven't actually shared that idea with the customer. Maybe I'll do that. Or maybe you're watching this here, Vicky. And here's another one. And I mean, again, the stones are there. They're sort of man-made synthetic ones, and artificial. I mean, and I wouldn't know where to get exact matching ones, to be honest. I'd have no idea. And in order to remake that, I mean, I'd be spending hours, and it would just be hundreds and hundreds of pounds, which just wouldn't be worth it. So, and especially with costume jewellery, you are a little bit more limited than with precious jewellery. There's just a lot more you can do because you know exactly what you're dealing with in terms of what's in the metal and all those kind of things. So here are just some examples. They seem to all be rings. I don't just repair rings, I repair all sorts. Sometimes people come to me with necklace chains, and depending how fine the chain, like really, really fine chains, then they often snap. And sometimes you kind of say, oh yeah, you're better off kind of replacing it. But the great thing with precious metal, you're not wasting it, you're not sending that necklace to landfill. That is going into a recycling pot, and that can be melted down and made into something new. It won't necessarily be made into something new for you at that point, if it's, say, a chain or something. But that is something I'll be talking about next time, is about remodeling jewellery where you can use your own gold, your own gemstones to create something entirely new. And that is something I absolutely love, especially because, I mean, I'm telling a story with visuals and jewellery, so it's a really, really fun thing to do. As always, then do check out my website at ruthmary.com. I often forget to say that at the end of videos. Have a look at my social media at ruthmaryjewellery. And if you have any questions or any thoughts or anything you want me to cover in these videos, then I would love to know. So drop me some comments. I do respond to emails. With my business, it is literally little me, little 4'10" me, Ruth. So if you do get in touch with me, then it is genuinely me that replies. So yeah, there you have it. So yeah, if there's anything you want me to cover, then I would love to hear about it. But other than that, until next time, enjoy a happy anti-Black Friday.